help.
Okay. Our today's topic is how to be effective on Zoom. I'm going to give you a lot of different tips and things. So ask any questions you have because I want to make this an interactive session, makes it more fun for me.
All right,
So
I have
these are the
questions.
things we are going to cover today. First we'll talk about why do we want to be effective on Zoom. And then the second, I'll talk into about our tone of voice. Why does it matters? And what is tone of voice? Camera. Why does camera matters and how can we be effective on camera? Then I'll go into a little bit of microphone, followed by lighting. Lighting is something I was not giving too much attention on, but some lot of people told me about it. Then I'll talk about a little bit about green screen, why green screen is important if we are using a virtual background. And here are some of the pitfalls to avoid. This is going to be an interactive session, so ask me any questions any moment. It will make it more fun. First of all, why do you want to be effective on Zoom?
Because I don't want to be ineffective.
That's a good one to pass.
I don't want to look like an idiot.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Any other? Cecily,
Well, just
anything?
our principal medium that we're communicating with each other today in our times. And if we're not effective on it, then we stay isolated and we can't have influence in our community, nor can we effectively receive it.
That's very true. Zoom is our medium of communication, and we want to be an effective speaker. I have third motivation. I don't want to change my speaking style so much that when I go in person, it will be totally different. So I want to have a very similar style also on Zoom. Okay.
I
So
just got it. I just got it, Abhijeet, the side by side. Now it's perfect.
Perfect. Yay.
Shared between the screens. It's perfect. Okay, good.
Good, 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 good. So here are the three main takeaways I want you to focus on because I'm going to show so many things. Sometimes it's confusing, but the three main takeaways are the tone of voice, how to project your voice and why it matters. The second thing is eye contact with the camera lens. And the third thing is lighting. Okay. Level one, this is just about sitting down and presenting. And in level two, I'm going to talk more about standing up and presenting. Tone, tone of voice. When I saw this graph, I was like, wow, tone of voice has 38%. Our communication happens 38% through tone of voice, 7% through words. That is a big number, 38%. What I've seen in some of the presenters like Dennis Dawson or Solarzar, whenever they take the stage, they kind of wake me up. I get surprised by the energy they are putting in their voice. And that affects me. And I've seen this, if I emulate that, if I put in that energy in my voice, I can have an impact on my audience. So that is why I'm saying, have your voice projected and have an energized tone. That makes a huge difference. The second thing which we all know is pauses. We can make a big impact by adding pauses and altering our pace. That also helps because that breaks the monotone voice. If we can go faster or sometimes slower. So remember, 38% of our communication is through tone of voice. Camera. I've seen more than 150 speeches in last 6 months. And only in two instances, I've seen people putting their camera off. One lady didn't had a camera, one was by mistake. So the camera is the easiest way for us to show our face. And the first thing about camera comes to the eye contact. Back in March, I was a test speaker for District 4. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just competing in the area contest, so I wanted to practice more. So I said, okay, I'll give a speeches anywhere I get a chance. The Toastmaster wanted to have a dry run with me. So I had my first speech, I had my laptop, the camera was at my vest level. And the first thing he said is, have your camera at the eye level. It's like, okay, but why? I didn't know anything about it. He said, when you're having it at eye level, people can see your face clearly. Another thing is, if the camera is up, the perception is that you are diminishing your value. If the camera is down, the perception is that you are being dominant. So the first thing is we want to have a neutral effect on the audience. That is very important. The second thing is, as I said before, they can see our face clearly. 55% of our communication is through our body language and our facial expressions. So that's why it becomes important. And as I said before, up and down. Look at this picture. Don't you think you feel connected with this boy? This picture was shot at the eye level. At the eye level, we have zero or very less psychological effect on the audience. So that's why we need to have the camera at the eye level. This is something I do. Like when I'm sitting outside in my porch, I'll put a box, like an Amazon box, below my laptop to raise my laptop so that my camera is at the eye level. Body language. As I said before, body language is 55% of the communications. Here are some of the learnings which I had. The first thing is gestures. The first thing I learned is I need to have my body open. If my body is closed, I'm not ready to connect with the audience. If I am not ready to connect with the audience is not ready to connect with me. So we have to have our shoulders open, open body, open palms. If I have it like this, it's not aesthetically pleasing for the audience to connect. But if I have my hands open like this, they are more ready to connect with me. The second thing is facial expressions. I'm going to go very deep into it. On camera, subtle is more. On camera, subtle is more. I'll give you an example. Back in April, Aaron Sampson, who was the finalist of the World Championship of Public Speaking, was having a workshop. During his workshop, he asked me to share a thrilling story. I started sharing my thrilling story, and as I was sharing it, I started making my eyes bigger and bigger. The first thing he said is, you have very expressive eyes, but be very careful. On camera, if you do something, it becomes large. And if you do large, then it becomes extra large. So be very subtle about it. So from that time, I learned to control my eyes, make it softer, not open it too wide. Posture, our posture has to be relaxed. I'll give you an example. I was doing a TLI promotion video. I spent 6 hours on recording a 1 minute video. And when I showed it to my friend, Margaret, the first thing she said, "Oh, your arms are very stiff." If I'm very stiff, the audience, they will not be able to connect with me. So we have to be relaxed. And that makes it easy for audience to receive us. The next thing, I just saw, and I was just working with Renee, who's competing for evaluation contest on coming Saturday. We are preparing for an evaluation contest. We saw a speech and we were evaluating. The speaker, she was moving so fast with her movements or gestures. It didn't appeal to me. It was repulsive for me. It's like, I don't want to. On camera, we have to move slowly so that people can grasp our movements. So remember that. If we are a ninja, it doesn't work. Never show your back to the audience. If you show your back to the audience, it's very disconnecting for them. So if I were you, I will always avoid that. Back in February, I gave a speech in Palo Alto at my friend Maria's club. A month later, she saw me giving the same speech in an online contest as a test speaker. The first thing she said, "You were not very warm." Warm? I was the same person a month ago and now. What's the difference? She said, "You were not smiling." So on camera, if we don't smile, we don't give the warmth to the people. So remember, if you can, please smile. People will form and they will feel connected and they will feel welcome. So smiling is very important on the camera. This is one thing which I learned is if I have my chin down, it shows that sometimes maybe I'm not interested to being here, I might be depressed or sad. But if I have my chin up, it shows that I'm happy, I'm excited to be here. I have a friend, Harit. He said he gave me an example. He said, you can make fun of me. He's afraid of not showing. He has a big neck, so he's afraid of showing his neck. So he likes to keep his neck down. I told him, Harit, it's okay. We really love you and we want to see you happy and excited and connect with you. So it's very important for you to have your neck up. So it was a big change for him, but it's impacting for us as the audience. The next thing which I've seen is a lot of people speaking when they're swinging like this. It is very distracting for the audience. So if you can try to avoid that. Always remember to fill the frame, because if I'm too back, the audience doesn't feel connected with me. But if I'm like at a distance where I'm close to the audience and they can see me as much as they can clearly, that makes a huge difference. So always remember to fill the frame. Right now I have pinned my video in the side. I exactly know when my arm is going out of the frame and when my arm is in the frame. So if you can always pin yourself so that you know where you are. Because if you're doing some gestures and they're out of the frame, then it's no use. The audience cannot connect with you on that.
How do you do that, Abhijeet?
Oh, I have a gallery view on, so I see all the videos, and my video is the top video. Okay. Always think about your background. I gave a speech at Surf City. My friend Cheryl was there. I gave the speech. I thought I had a good background and everything. The first thing she said, oh, she was distracted by the artwork I had. And the same thing happened when I went to Prep Squad. I gave the speech. People were distracted by the background, so I removed the pictures. And then I went to Intel to deliver a speech. After delivering the speech, the evaluator pointed out that he really enjoyed that I had a neutral background, unlike the other speaker who had a laundry basket in the background, and he was wondering, when is she going to do the laundry? So always remember your background. Think about your background. Mic. Mostly when we are using a computer mic, that is enough. The one thing I would suggest is setting the sound levels manually rather than automatic. When they are automatic, they are erratic. And if the speaker is not speaking, the volumes changes. So to avoid the erratic behavior of the microphone, set it manually. And the ideal setting is around 75% of the volume.
Where do you do that, Abhijeet?
I will, when you go to, give me 1 second. Besides mute button, there is audio setting. Click audio setting, okay? And then the first thing it shows is the mic volume.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, sure. Give me 1 second. Once I do something on my laptop, my presentation stops.
Uh-oh.
It's okay.
So you need to set up in the setting, you need to remove the automatic adjust microphone volume before you can set your level manually.
Yes.
Okay, that's good to know.
Oh, yeah. Always, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
So the next thing I want to talk about is lighting. I was talking to a sound and video expert at my workplace, and I was mostly talking about webcam. The first thing he pointed out is it doesn't matter how good a webcam you have, it matters how good of a lighting you have. The lighting makes an immediate impact. And from that, I understood a little bit, but not precisely. I'll share my journey with you. The first thing, as he suggested, we need to have, yeah, go ahead.
Can you set up your lighting manually so that it does not shift around? You know,
my lighting?
If you open a light, if you want to turn on a desk light, everything changes. Is there a way to set up your level of lighting manually?
Yes, I will show you something. I give you some ideas about it. It is in the
Okay.
next few slides. Okay.
Okay.
So the first thing I learned from the video and audio expert at my work is having plenty of light. Okay. The next learning came from my yoga teacher. This is my yoga teacher teaching an yoga class. She teaches every Saturdays at 9 o'clock. The first thing I learned is like, wow, this is when is she, when is, this is the picture taken when she's doing a YouTube live streaming. This is not a picture, it's a video picture. Means I was, I was watching her on YouTube and I, I printed that screen picture from that. So you can see how clear it is. You can see her clearly. Her sound is also very clear. I talked to her after her class and she said that she has a lot of natural light coming from the side that really helps her. So from her, I learned two things: lighting, a lot of natural light she's using, and about mic. I'll go into more details about that. So what happens is sometimes we have a very strong light focusing on us. The easiest way to make it soft and diffused is to just use a bounce sheet and put it on the light source. When you put that on the light source, it becomes nice and soft. And you need to have a soft light, because if you have a too harsh light, it reflects too much. You cannot have a direct sunlight. And if you want to spend more money, you can get the diffusing sheets. Those are very helpful to make the light nice, white and soft.
So,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
Abhijeet,
Yep.
my light feels bright to me. So
Yep.
you're saying if I put a bounce sheet over my light bulb,
Yep.
that's going to
It'll be,
change it?
yes, it will make it nice, soft and diffused.
Because it's going into a white umbrella.
Yeah. Then it's fine. See, I'm also my light is also going into white umbrella. It's coming from the umbrella, then it's fine. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The light should not be coming directly on you.
Got it.
Okay. Okay. Like some people are gifted, like Solar Czar or Michael. Sometimes they don't have much hair. They have a nice halo effect on it.
There you go, Michael.
So if they have a halo effect, you can get rid of the halo effect by putting some talcum powder or just putting some makeup powder. It reduces the halo effect, especially like people like Solarzar or Declan or Dennis. That's what we learned from Stan, who is the video editor. Level 2 is mostly standing up and delivering. The first thing I learned is what is my ideal distance from the camera, because if I go too back, the audience cannot see me closely. But if I come too close, it becomes very tough for me to show my hands. So I had to find a distance which is good so that I can show my gestures and also the audience can feel closer to me. So you can play with the distance and ask the audience for their feedback. As I told you, I learned what mic to use from a yoga teacher. I knew this mic was good, but it was expensive. So I was not I was not ready to spend money on it. But finally, my yoga teacher convinced me that her sound quality was so good. I decided finally to go for it. The good things about this microphone is it's easy to use. It has a very long range and the battery life is around 5 hours. So I don't have to worry about going away from the laptop. I still have a good audio. I'm also using a lapel mic. Yeah, go ahead, Pam.
Can you also directly plug it into the wall to keep it constantly charged?
Um,
Or is it only battery?
it is battery. Yeah, it's 5 hours of battery you have. Yeah, you don't have to. Yeah, right now it's not plugged in for me. I charged it day before and I know it's going to still go for next 2 hours. Right now, mostly I don't like to use the headset, but I wanted to listen to the questions, so that's why I'm using the headset. I'm using a lapel mic. My mic is in my shirt. Okay.
That's difficult for women to do.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, Alan, go ahead. Alan.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll have time for questions because I had a couple of questions going back to issues that you already covered.
Sure, sure. Please ask.
You mean now?
Yeah.
Yes, like I noticed, for example, when you talked about the background, that the Megan background is virtual, and it
Yes.
has this floating effect when she moves her head.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So you cannot avoid that, right? This is
I, I will cover that in my future slides. I have
okay.
an answer for that.
And the other question I had is camera. You know, if you put a camera, like I have a desktop, there is no way I can put the camera so that I can watch people at the same time unless I move the camera right in the middle of the screen, which I don't know how to do that. So how do you do that?
When I'm speaking, Alan, I don't miss. I will just glance for a moment on my screen, but mostly I'm just looking at the lens. Because if I don't look at the lens, see, this is the one thing which I want to really point out. Is if I'm having notes and if I move my eyesight for a little bit, the audience catches it. Okay, so the best thing is just to look at the lens. I don't miss. I will glance to the people, but mostly if I'm like in a contest or something, I'm just looking at the lens. Go ahead, Solarzar.
Just wondering, is this the right way to do the bounce sheet? I was trying to figure I just wanted to know.
Looks good. I like it.
Alan, I'll come to your virtual background question in a moment, okay?
Okay, all right, thank you.
So if you're using a natural light, it's always good to face the window. In my living room, I have a window in the front. I also have a window in the side. When I do my setup there, my one side is brighter than the other side. And the contrast is weird for the audience to look at. So I decided to just use my bedroom, which has a light in the front. I don't have any side light. One thing, avoid direct sunlight. It is too bright and the camera cannot adjust itself. If you want to have your own light, there are two types of light. One is, this is called as a ring light. This is just like $20 on Amazon.com. You can just put it in front of your laptop or something and you can have a really good lighting on your face. The second thing I want to go into is the 3-point lighting. The 3-point lighting is a very uniform lighting so that it really gives, it's easier for people to see and it also highlights your edges. There are total 3 lights. One is a key light. It does most of the work. 80% of the work is done by the key light. And then the fill light takes care of any shadows created by the key light. And then you have a backlight, which helps you to show your edges. Today, I'm not using a backlight because I think my edges are visible because I have a lot of light coming in. And here is the ideal positioning of the lights. The key light is closer to you between 3 to 4 p.m. And the fill light is a little bit further away from you at 8 p.m. And this was a setup which was suggested to me from my workplace. And this is just $53 from Amazon.com. If you want, I can share the links. And right now I'm using this setup. I'm using those 2 big lights. Back to Alan's questions. Okay. Virtual backgrounds are great, but if you don't have a green screen, virtual background is spotty. Okay. And I will give you an example. I went to Autodesk to do an evaluation. The lady had spent 2 hours to create an amazing, beautiful red virtual background. I really loved it. But when she was giving her speech, I was her evaluator. So I made her full screen and I was paying close attention to her. During her speech, she touched her hair. It felt to me that she was having a wig on and it was distracting for me. My mind started going somewhere else. So remember, virtual background can be distracting to the audience. So as I said, virtual background without a green screen is spotty. especially Zoom. Zoom does not have good chroma keying. Chroma keying is the way they can compost two video streams together. Like WebEx and Teams have better chroma keying software than Zoom. And why do we use green screen? We can also use blue screen, but green screen is easiest for the software to edit it out because it's farthest from our skin color. Okay. As I said before, chroma keying on Zoom is not good. If you want to use virtual background, buy that chair, means buy that virtual setup. I can show you the link for that. That will make sure that your virtual background is without glitches. Here are some of the pitfalls to avoid. The first thing, moving while the camera is on is very distracting for the audience. So if you can, please avoid that and make sure your movements are slower on the camera. The second thing, some of the laptops have their camera near the keyboard. So sometimes when people are typing, they're typing and you see their big fingers. That movement is very distracting for the audience. Mobile phones have great cameras, but the frame is smaller. You cannot see very much. So if you can tilt it a little bit, the frame at least becomes like 80%. So I mostly try to avoid using mobile cameras because of the smaller frame. As I told you, virtual background, it's good to use, but without green screen, it can be disappearing, the body parts disappear, and the hair looks like wig. Some people like to use wired mics. I think it limits the movement. So if you can, try to avoid that. Yeah, go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, going back to what you said about light and facing, light facing you, I just removed the big board I have to block the window. Even though it's a soft lighting right now, the camera is bright. So I was wondering if there is a way to fix the level manually to fix the camera lighting.
There is actually, actually, they just started choose video filter option. Okay, go to stop video. There is a choose video filter option. Okay, and then you can
Restop video.
let
Restop
me show
video.
you. So, so besides the video, no, besides the soft video, there is an arrow, and then there is something called as video settings. Okay, and you can
Yeah.
adjust for low light or touch up my appearance if you can see if it changes anything.
Okay.
Okay, so you can play with it. We can go into details about that. Okay, give me 1 second. It stops my presentation when I another thing is always mute yourself when you're typing because the keyboard creates a lot of noise for the people. Okay, so if you can, try to avoid that. And chatting while speaker is speaking, it flashes, so the speaker can get distracted. Okay, Alan, I'm going to give you some things to touch up your video. Okay, I'll answer all your things for that. The next thing is some people have two monitors and sometimes they're looking at a monitor which does not have a camera in it. And that's very distracting for the audience. Like if you're talking like this, it feels very disconnecting. I've seen this many times. I have a colleague at work who has a very bright window at the back. Because of that, his face is very dark. I cannot see him. So right now, Zoom has started a setting adjust for low light. You can use that to touch up yourself. And finally, here are the main three takeaways. Your tone of voice matters. The eye contact with the camera is very important. On camera, subtle is big. Subtle is big because whenever if if someone is giving a speech and they're looking at the notes, the camera immediately tells you that they are looking at the notes. So be very careful with that. Adjust your settings accordingly. And finally, lighting. Lighting is sometimes I was not giving importance to it, but now I have learned that it is something very important to show my facial expressions and my body movements. Questions?
I'm not clear where you do that back, the third light. It's down at your, down
Yes.
towards your waist.
Yes, down towards your waist. The one thing which we have to be careful is if that it should be behind me. Like suppose if I was having, I would keep it this way here. And the
I
one
see.
thing I have to make sure is that light should not go into my camera lens.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, yeah. That's all new to me. I appreciate
Yes.
you doing that.
Yes.
I have a question that's
Sure.
slightly off topic, but it has to do with to do timing and to use the virtual background and to split the screen so that I can see what's happening while I'm also having to manage the virtual effect of the timer. Any suggestions?
Yes. So what I do is I have this tape. See, I put it on my camera when I'm a timer.
Okay,
Okay.
so I've got that.
Yes. And then I have everything in the gallery view. Okay.
Mhm.
And then I change my backgrounds so that I can see everyone as well as the speaker can see my timing backgrounds also. Does that answer your question, Dana?
Well, but so when I get into, I have to go into the virtual screen, correct? And I'm manipulating
Yes.
it from the virtual screens. And okay, I'll give it a try.
Yeah. And that time, yeah, actually we lose sight of what is happening because our attention is diverted. I totally agree with you. Like when we are a timer, we cannot pay too much attention to the speaking sometimes because we have to change the virtual backgrounds every 30 seconds.
Correct.
That is, we can't, yeah, we have to live with it. Yeah. Yes, Pam.
I just heard from someone watching us that I sound like I'm in a tunnel. So I'm not sure what to do when I sound like I'm in a tunnel.
Yes, the one thing.
Do I sound like I'm in a tunnel?
Yes,
Everybody
yes.
goes and thinks I
Yes.
sound like I'm in a tunnel.
So
Oh
one
no.
thing, see, what kind of flooring do you have? You have carpet?
What kind of who?
No, flooring. What is your flooring?
My flooring.
Yes,
Bamboo.
bamboo. That's what. If you can put a carpet there, makes it easier. Okay.
I got a carpet on top of the bamboo.
Okay, but is it thick or is it very thin?
I don't know. It's probably too thin. And
Yeah.
and my walls are wood.
Yes. So the one thing they suggest is if you can put a big blank, like suppose for the contest, I had one option. If I had too much echo, I would have put a big comforter in front of me so that it can absorb the sound.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have time to do that before 9 o'clock.
It's okay. Just that's fine.
I can throw carpet over my head. I know. Okay.
Thank you, Abhijeet.
Sure.
What you
Yeah.
did.
Thank you, Diana.
Yeah, I learned a lot, Abhijeet. I had no idea about some of those things, so appreciate it.
Thank you. Alan, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write an instruction for you how to touch up your appearance on so that your light gets adjusted on your face. Right now I can see you have a very bright light. The one thing you can do is if you have a white sheet, you can put it on the window. That will make it soft, or put lots of like bounce napkins. Yeah, this is better. Yeah.
What I do is put a big a big block right in front of me. So
Yes.
that's the only way I found out to adjust that.
Yes, that is better right now. But right now your camera is not at the eye level. Okay.
I don't know how to do that without putting right in front of my screen. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe having a tripod and stick my camera right in the middle of my screen. So that like, because I do want to see what's happening on the screen, you know?
So it seems like you're using a webcam which is separate from your laptop, right?
It's a desktop, and it's you know, it's a separate unit I can move around.
Okay. Okay.
There I am.
Hello, any other questions?
That was fabulous. Bless
Thank you.
you. We
Thank
need
you so
a
much.
studio to be part of this.
Actually, I had a question,
Yes.
Abhijeet.
Yes.
When Pam speaks, the sound is very metallic. Do you know what causes that?
It's a reflection of the sound is very sharp. She has very, the sound is reflecting. That's why there is not many sound absorbing. So that is the reason.
Oh.
Oh my.
Ooh.
I can go get some blankets. I don't know what to do. I'm so
Try-
sorry.
Try the bounce. Try the bounce.
Over my face.
Actually, Pam, even a towel or something behind your laptop, or if you have a chair next to you, you could just drape a blanket, just somewhere to absorb some of the sound somewhere in the room would help you. Ideally in front of you, could be behind you, but to the side somewhere.
Whoa, okay.
That's the quick fix.
Okay, quick fix. Okay, I'm gonna leave and go find some blankets. Bye.
Bye. Well, there goes our Toastmaster. I guess I shouldn't have spoken.
Thank you so much, Abhijeet. It was
Yeah, thank you.
very
That was
wonderful.
wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Well, it's now 9 o'clock. And
Ab-
surf's up.
Hold on, the Toastmaster left.
You're a minute early.
Not by my watch.
Check the